Hello, welcome back to Down the Rabbit Hole. Today, we are going to be talking about the Hazen Brigade Monument at Stone. I think we are. Yeah, the Hazen Brigade Monument. I was correct. We are sitting in my living room. I'm watching Gilmore Girls at this very moment. It's on silent, so you can't really hear it. We are also sitting on my couch because in sweatpants. Because for crying out loud, this is a podcast. I don't feel like dressing up today, and that's a beautiful thing. I don't have to dress up if I don't want to. But there is a town about 30 to 45 minutes south of Nashville, and it is the center and was once the capital of Tennessee. Before I dive calling that town, if you're new here, hit that like button, ring that bell for notifications. Also, please subscribe. Now, this town is called Murfreesboro. It is a major Civil War town, and fun fact about Tennessee, it was the first out and the last. It was the first. It was the last out, first in. No, no, first out, last in during the Civil War. So, I've actually been to this monument. It's actually pretty cool. You can actually go on my channel. I think I have a travel blog about it, so you can go and check it out if you would like. But yeah, it was one of the first few places I visited when I came up here, and I thought it was pretty neat. But let's talk about the history of the place, because that's why you clicked on it, right? Um, on December 31st, 1862, on the first day of the Battle of Stones River, Confederate General Braxton Bragg made a surprise advance on the left and drove the right of the Union Army of Major General S. Rosecrans battled back about 3 miles, and at the point of the Union line was nearly at the right angle, and the brigade of Colonel William Hazen defended a 4-acre clump of cedars, known locally as the Round Forest. Now, assailant at the line of just east of Nashville Pike, on the first sides of the Nashville and Chattanooga Railroad. Hazen's men supported other Union troops, especially with artillery and the Rose the Rosserans in the mass on the high ground in their rear, so successfully repulsed by the Confederate assaults. Now, so great was the slaughter of soldiers that were in the place of Hell's Half Acre, and Hazen's regiment sustained about 409 casualties, 29% of the brigade, including 45 men killed, and that determined the resistance of what the brigade prevented the Confederate Army of Tennessee from breaking the Union line. Now, let's talk about the creation of the monument. During the summer of 1863, while the Union Army of the Confederate outmaneuvered Bragg's Confederate in the Tullahoma campaign, members of the brigade were derailed back to Stones River Monument to build a monument and both to commemorate the heroism in the brigade to memorize the lost comrades. Now, a construction detailed under Edward C. Croven was placed under the property in the middle of the brigade cemetery near Round Forest. A Union Army captain described the monument as a quadrangular pyramidal shape about 10 feet, 10 feet square at the base and 11 feet in height. Now, a dry stacked stone wall, 4 feet high and 2 feet thick, enclosed both monument and cemetery. Now, there are three low steps that are breached on the south side axis. Now, in 1864, two experienced stonecutters from the regiment carved the inscription, including names of the regiment officers killed at Stone Rivers in the earlier Battle of Shiloh. On the south-facing stones that described Hazen Brigade to the memory of his fallen soldiers who fell at Stone Rivers, December 31st, 1862. Um, and their faces toward heaven and their foe. Now, the history of this place. Um, The .84 acre was acquired by the War Department in 1875 and before 1930 was administered during the authority of the superintendent of the Stones River National Cemetery. During the period of the monument suffered periods of neglect and deterioration. And in 1930, administration of the Hazen Brigade Memorial in National Cemetery was officially consolidated and the into some of the Stone Rivers National Military Park. And in 1933, administration of the military park was transferred from the War Department to the National Park Services. And in 1907, a um, short story writer and journalist Ambrose Bierce visited the Hazen Brigade Monument for a second time, and he had been a staff officer for the 9th Indiana Volunteers, had known the Hazen Wall, and had survived fighting in the Stone Rivers. As a topographic engineer, he had ample opportunity to view the monument when it was first completed in 1863. And in 1908, he published an eerie psychological tale about a resumed identity in which the man in the story shares Fierce's age, rank, and brigade affliction with the Hazen Monument as a critical role in the twist ending. Now, in 1985, while repairing the monument, workers would discover that objects were filled with limestone and soil, two bullets, um, in which there were 8 buck and ball shot, a lead disc, freshwater mussel shell, 2 bone fragments, 6 horse teeth, and 2 small wood fragments. And archaeologists concluded that these items had been in the soil before fill. Nevertheless, 5 feet above 5 feet above ground, archaeologists found about 9 artifacts: two 12-pound and 6-pound cannonballs, um, 3 rifle artillery shells, 2 rifle musket barrels, and a cedar staff. Now, because these items were all placed in a single level of the National Park Service, um, they were believed that the inclusion had been purposeful, and although there was no agreement about the meaning of the presumptive time capsule, so let's talk about the Union squeaking by with victory in a bloody conflict here. It it basically ended with an uncoordinated attack from General Braxton Bragg Confederate Army to Tennessee, worked in favor of Major General S. Rutherford's Union Army. But yeah, that is it for this episode. You can join me next time as we talk about the Sam Davis home. I'm a history nut, so we gotta talk about it. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I know this was short and sweet, but thank you guys. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving and a